Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Donovan. We've spent a lot of time talking about late game execution. What was so different for you guys in the final 5 minutes tonight?
We were very precise with our movements. We knew exactly where we were going, how we were going to attack it, what they were doing. And I think, late game, we ran a few plays, and it was like we ran at the same thing over and over again, and then we ran a counter. Same thing over and over again, we ran another counter. Like I said, me and DG playing off of each other, and then also adding JA in the middle. Now you got Ev cutting baseline. Like, there's so many threats, and you really have to pick and choose. And tonight was one of our best night executing, not even just in the fourth quarter, but throughout the whole game. And, like I said, this is all just a learning process on what's going to continue to work. And there have been nights where it hasn't worked, and I think that's what has helped us get to this point. And there's even more we can do out of what we executed tonight, which is a great thing. But, I think that's what you're seeing.
What has made Lamar such a good fit with the other four in the starting lineup?
He's Mr. Everything. He's guarding, he's running the floor, he's making extra effort. He's holding us accountable. He came to the huddle and said I was getting my ass bust when they scored on me twice. And I don't think anybody scored on me after that. You know what I mean? But you need a guy like that. And I respect that and I appreciate that. Because, and it wasn't just me. He's told others, but when you have a guy that's vocal about that, and not afraid to speak to everybody on the team the same way, it kind of lifts you up and gives your energy up. And I think that's what he brings. He brings a voice. That's definitely needed, an attitude of positivity. Accountability as well, so it's not always just coming from JB, and I think on the defensive end, he held an all-star guard in DeJounte Murray to 4 of 18. He did a great job on the ball and made the night tough on him, and he's done that on several occasions. And you're seeing him play well in his minutes and his spots, and I keep telling him to shoot the ball. He shot fake slides, keeps him to shoot it and trust it, and that's going to come with time. When you get out there, you want to make the right play all the time, but sometimes the right play is letting it fly. And him and Isaac Okoro are always the first ones in the gym every day. Shooting the 3-ball, getting extra work in. So it's great to see them too, especially, but for Mark to join our starting lineup and to excel, and have success, it's great to see.
Was he the one that was busting your ass in the huddle?
No. He was saying I was getting my ass bust by it was Griffin and Murray. They hit 2 shots on me. He was like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna guard? Or are you gonna let them bust your ass? And when that, I think honestly, I respond to that pretty well, and I appreciate that because, that's something I haven't heard since Rick Pitino started screaming at me. So I appreciate that when it's coming for your teammate, and that's what ultimately you're going to need when you want to get to the playoffs, get to the finals, get to that. You're going to need those moments where we lock in, and he's doing it down the line. And honestly, he's one of the best voices on this team in that regard for sure.
Thank you.
Kelsey Russo, The Athletic. Donovan, do you feel like you guys have started to rediscover that defensive identity of these last couple games, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think just kind of going back to our fundamentals. It's keeping our man in front, making the extra effort. When you lose 5 in a row, whatever it was, it's not, it doesn't feel great. And, we started the year off and everything felt easy, felt smooth, and that's not going to be all 82 games. There's going to be moments where things start to go differently, and then how do you respond? And, I think tonight we showed, or the past 3 nights we've showed grit, and we've showed determination and getting back to ourselves. And the biggest thing for us is just finding a way to continuously keep that for a full 48. And I think this was our first time playing a full 48, of solid defense and everything else, offensively, that's the easy part. I feel like, for us, it's continuing to bring it on the defensive end and communicate, be there for each other, even through mistakes. And I think that was something you're starting to see, and we're continuing to get back to it. But we can't lose it, that's the biggest thing.
How helpful, though, is it having Jarrett back in there to anchor the defense? Obviously, I know you have other pieces to help, but when he's back in there, just how does that change you guys defensively?
Yeah, when you got guards who are dynamic like Trey, DeJounte getting downhill, all you got to do as a guard is kind of just stay in space and kind of funnel them down there and to both Ev and Jay. But when you noticed that when Jay was out, things weren't too great, and it's tough just to be down there when it's Ev and say a Lamar. Lamar is not, we're not 7 feet, so being able to have 2 of those guys down there in the foundations of our defense, being able to have those 2 down there, but definitely with Jay back, blocking shots, deterring shots, and even forcing guys to travel because they don't want to go up there for a shot. I think that's something that is you don't notice it on the stat sheet, but you see it when you're watching the game, and they bring it every night.
Spencer Davies, basketballnews.com. How much of the element on defense is the physicality you guys have played with the last couple of games?
I think that's first and foremost, I think, not reacting but being the kind of dictating on the defensive end, where guys are going, blowing up screens. Isaac Okoro is probably the first person that comes to mind. Is because he had 4 fouls in like 3 minutes, whatever. But he was continuously making it tough. That's what we want, and understanding that, some of them, we believe were offensive fouls, and they didn't call it, but continuously playing through it. Again, that comes to mind for me is when we played Boston. In the first quarter, we were being ultra aggressive, and they started calling those fouls. Then the second quarter, we kind of got timid, and laid back, and then next thing you know, we're down 15. Then the rest of the game, third, fourth, and overtime, we started to really pick up our intensity on the defensive end, and we come back and win. So that's what we have to be. That's what we have to do. And, from my time playing against the Cavs, you always understand that, we're always going to be aggressive. We're always going to be finding ways to try to dictate on the defensive end, and that's what we're starting to see over and over again, and we got to bring that every night.
And then I got to ask you, just when Jetty has an open floor, do you guys notice the crowd?
I don't even run back on offense.
I mean, like, the place goes nuts.
Yeah. That's why when I got the steal, I just threw it up there and just let him go get it. Even when he got the foul on John Collins, like, you just throw it out there and you just know, like, he's going to go out there and finish. He's also playing phenomenally on both ends of the floor, doing a lot, especially when you go from DMP to playing a few minutes to not playing to playing, like, to be able to come out and give us this spark with Karras out as well. Like, he's been phenomenal, but especially on the open floor, man, like, it's like he's about to go up and do a 360 dunk, and everybody goes crazy. But, I as soon as I give him the ball, I just go ahead and stand there and don't even waste my energy because I know he's going to make it and either get fouled or I don't want to jinx this. I'm not going to say, but he's very successful when he gets fast break layups.
All right.